2023 was a year of Arabian fragrances for me. I came, I saw, I bought shit, and it was a wild ride. Finding new loves, new fragrance enemies, and most importantly, finding deals on deals on deals for quality juice. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the 10 best Arabian fragrances I added to my collection in 2023 because there were a lot of them. I'm not mad at that. And I'm going to share all the florals, the gourmands, the fruity fragrances that I added to my collection, as well as the dupes of fragrances that I wasn't going to pay full price for. I just wasn't going to do it, and I needed alternatives. And I have some alternatives here for you. If you like to save money, but you love to smell like a rich ass bitch, I got options here. So if that sounds like your thing, stick around and subscribe. Stick around though, and let's get into it.
Baby, can you give me just a little bit more of what I've been missing? We got time.
Hi, I'm Jeanique, and deep down I've always wanted to be a niche girly, but the pockets would not allow it. And for the very first time, I have within reach fragrances that smell expensive as fuck, that are interesting and nuanced and layered and give something a little bit different without spending hundreds of dollars to get it. Do I have $25 to spend on some new juice that's going to make me feel good? Abso-fucking-lutely. And so I've taken advantage. I've gotten to know Arabian fragrances very, very intimately. And I have some favorites from this year. Do I have a haul coming in January with more shit that's immaculate? Yes, I do. But to close the year off right, I'm going to do a roundup for you. The 10 best in my collection. And these are lovely. We have two sets. We have florals and fruit. We have gourmands and vanillas, and we have one dada among the bunch. So we have 11 to get into, and they're all fantastic, y'all. So let's get into it.
Little bit more of what I've been missing.
Before we get into the top fragrances, I have one honorable mention, and it is Lattafa's for Caros. She gets the prize for most improved because, y'all, when I initially hauled this fragrance, I maybe got 30 minutes. I was mad about it. I was annoyed, and it has definitely gotten better over time as it sort of sat around and macerated a bit. Now I get about 3 to 4 hours. It's by no means a beast mode fragrance, and as far as Arabian fragrances go, it still doesn't live up to some other fragrances, but for what I need it for, it does significantly better, and I'm appreciative of that. Now this fragrance is a dupe of L'Entrée from Givenchy, very popular floral fragrance that mixes together yellow florals like ylang ylang and rose amber coming together to create something that's extremely feminine but very assertive. It's not like soft and delicate. It's a very bombastic kind of floral fragrance that has a lot of personality, very traditional in a lot of ways, that really strong rose coming through. Now once you get to the mid and it starts to dry down, a lot more white florals like orange blossom comes in and tuberose, which helps it to like settle a bit and get a little bit more delicate on the skin. Very pretty fragrance if you're going for more traditional feminine vibes, but it is a very affordable way to go about getting lingerie in your collection. Because would I buy the original for myself? No, I have the rouge version, it's better, but for what I'm getting for this price, I think it's definitely worth it. And now that it doesn't just last 30 minutes, I'm very happy. So let's start off with my favorite florals, and y'all know how I feel about florals. I love them so much. And in the number 5 spot, surprisingly, I think what I really thought about this year is Afnan's La Fleur Bouquet. I shouldn't have been surprised because this fragrance is so good if you love a sweeter floral fragrance. Now, most of the floral work in this fragrance, they'll say it's orange blossom, it's not. It's Petalia, and I wish more floral fragrances utilize Petalia because it's this really sparkly, champagne-esque kind of soft floral. A lot of soft florals are kind of powdery or cloud-like. There's something very just kind of crisp and sparkly about Petalia, and it offers just a real happiness to a fragrance. And then when you add in things like peach and lychee to sweeten things up, make it a little bit more fun, how can you not get into this and enjoy it? This feels like a Saturday day outdoors when it's really sunny out and you're in a sundress and you want something sweet on your body. That is the vibe of La Fleur Bouquet, and I love this one for me. I wore it a lot over the summer, not so much in winter. It's just a little bit too light for the winter months, especially where I live, where it snows. There's no snow right now, which is weird because it's December, but whatever. This is a beautiful fragrance, and I think it's just really complimentary. It just smells good on anybody. So my number 4 favorite Arabian floral fragrance has to be, yeah, it's Wash Washa. Y'all knew this was coming, right? Because I just did a short about this fragrance because we had a Christmas party and I wore this to work. And I was smelling good, looking good, feeling good. You couldn't chat to me. I stunted on everybody, y'all. wearing wash washer. Now, this is a more classic take on a floral fragrance. It's heavy white florals with some benzoin to give it a little bit more body. It's orange flowers, jasmine, it's neroli. We have a little bit of yellow flowers in the form of osmanthus, just giving a little bit of an extra little kick. There's a lot of like pink pepper, raspberry to sweeten the pot, but it isn't a very sweet fragrance. It is mostly just full, supple, round, kind of creamy florals. And in the base, we have vanilla, we have some tonka bean. It is thick, it is heavy, it is really beautiful white florals. You gotta love you some white florals to get into this fragrance, and I love me some white florals. The more, the merrier. This is the texture I love in winter, just heavy and feminine smelling. This is beautiful. I love her, and this is a go-to work fragrance for me because I know I'm gonna smell like a boss bitch, but also really approachable at the same time. Yeah, we've talked play, we've talked work. Now let's talk about those romantic settings where you want to smell like a whole snack and you want to get ate up. So here we go. It's Modest de from Afnan. Y'all, this is a dupe of Lancome's La Nuit Tresor. It's sexy ass fragrance. It just is. It is just fire. The intense version, the original version, is one of my favorite date night fragrances. And here we come. I picked this up not realizing it was a dupe. And the moment I sprayed her, I was like, oh, excuse me. That's La Nuit Tresor, and it totally is beautiful. There's some dark chocolate. There is raspberry. So there's red, just supple fruit in here. It is airy. It is crisp. It is sweet. It's a little bit dark. It's a little bit mysterious. This is a fire ass fragrance. Now, if you try La Nuit Tresor, you'd be like, why do I need both? First of all, this is like $20. So there you go. But also, this dries down a lot crisper and fresher. So it's a little bit more appropriate for the daytime. So if you like those dark, fruity fragrances with a little bit of like a jasmine, a little bit of white florals in the back to boost it, a little bit of dark chocolate to give it a little bit of body, some mystery, some heaviness, this is the fragrance. It is so good. It is so beautiful. It is so sexy. And I don't know a man who does not love this fragrance. They just do. They can't help themselves. No. So the number 2 fragrance was almost number 1 fragrance, and the two went back and forth for a while. And it ultimately landed in the number 2 spot, primarily because the performance is trash. Like, honestly, truly. However, the fragrance itself, the juice, the smell makes up for that fact, and that's why it's number 2 for me. And it is Ardal Zafran's Bint Haran. Here's the thing. It's been macerating. The performance is not getting any better. It is what it is. I will live with that shit because I love this fragrance. It is a white floral lover's dream in what it is giving. Now, when you first spray this fragrance, it has this sort of smooth orangey kind of smell. It is beautiful. It's just really round and sweet and a little bit citrusy, and I love her. It doesn't say there's citrus in here, but I get that. Then that gives way to some sweet almond, right? Just creamy, a little bit nutty, really pretty. And then we get on that full tuberose. It's all the tuberose you could possibly need in our fragrance. It is big, it is round, it's voluptuous, it is full, it is indolic, it is so white floral. You gotta love that white floral. The thing that makes this special, though, and the reason that I love this, and I've talked about this before when I initially hauled this fragrance, is that the back of this fragrance, the base of it, feels like a sweet, just sort of power tool or a freight truck. It just comes at you and it's really just in your face and powerful, but also feels kind of delicate. It reminds me of like you walking into like a carpenter studio and there is wood dust in the air, but it's sweet wood dust, so it feels very real and like tactile, and it feels kind of like a real thing. It's not like a cloud. It's not very airy. It's not just, you know, sugar that's sprinkled on top. It feels like it has a body, but sweet body without feeling too claustrophobic or too heavy. I don't know how they pull this off. But it's white florals, sweetness, and a whole lot of body to it. And I can't get enough. I love her. And I wish she lasted longer. And that's why she's in the number 2 spot, not the number 1 spot. But every single time I spray this fragrance and I say, I'm wearing it right now, I stay wearing this fragrance, I can't get enough. I love it, and I think it's just about perfect, except for performance. We don't like to see that, do we? If you've watched a couple of my videos, you know it's in the number 1 spot because there's something that is noticeably missing, and y'all know that I love. And it is Club de Nuit Imperial in the white bottle from Armaf. Here's the thing. This fragrance is one of the best dupes I've ever tried, and it is one of my most complimented fragrances, hands down. I have a most complimented fragrances of 2023 video coming, so subscribe so you don't miss that one. But let's talk about this. Now, we got Delina Exclusive from Parfums de Marly, expensive ass fragrance that smells so good. And this fragrance is somewhere in the middle of both of them. It's not quite Delina, it's not quite the exclusive version, but it is fucking amazing. And not only does it smell fantastic, it gives you like, I'm saying 12 hours because it takes me that long sometimes to shower, but it could probably be more than that because I've always had to wash it off of my body. It's just a beast mode fragrance that projects and lasts. Now, what does this give? It's a very feminine fragrance that is rose. It's a lychee. There's a little bit of sourness, maybe rhubarb, a little bit of sharpness to this fragrance. It is a lot. And the opening is in your face. It is a little bit sour. It's a little bit tart. It's that classic Delina opening with that very pronounced fresh rose. It is beautiful. It is classy. You belong at like a Sunday brunch somewhere, right? And then the exclusive version comes in with that vanilla, the sweetness. Now, unlike the sort of heavier sweetness that the exclusive version gives us, this gives us something closer to something like marshmallowy. So it's a lot of lighter, airier sweetness alongside the rose, alongside the lychee, alongside the rhubarb. This is classy, it is beautiful, it is feminine, it is sexy, and it is a compliment getter for a reason. It smells expensive because the fragrance it is duping does as well, and it does such a beautiful job. I have travel sizes of Delina and Delina exclusive, and I used to say to myself, when those are done, I'm gonna get the full size version. I don't want them. I prefer this. I know that says a lot because it's a dupe, y'all. I don't give a fuck. It is so good. I don't want them. This is better for me personally. That marshmallow vibe, I prefer it, y'all. This is my #1 favorite floral Arabian fragrance of the year. Will it be next year? I don't know. Maybe something will take over, but it's going to be hard because this is just about perfect. If you haven't done so already, you love perfume videos, you love fragrance related content, don't forget to subscribe, y'all. I would really appreciate it. And if you've already subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate you supporting this channel. I am so grateful. Now, let's talk some more about these fragrances, y'all. So let's get into these gourmands. In the #5 spot is Maison Alhambra's lovely Cherie. And this is a dupe of Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. A fucking fire cherry fragrance, if I do say so myself. It is sweet, it is supple, it is beautiful. It feels like a party on your body because it absolutely is. Now, this fragrance, y'all, is sour cherry. There's tonka, there is toffee, there is balsam for thickness and heaviness. There's a little bit of rose to help balance things out, give it a little bit of like dimension. It's a beautiful fragrance. Lost Cherry is just incredible. The problem with that fragrance is that for the money, which is like $5 million, it is giving you maybe 2-3 hours. It is fucking unacceptable, right? At that price point. This allows you a taste of Lost Cherry, not the whole experience, for a fraction of the cost, for a 10th of the price. So let's get into this fragrance and why it's great, but why it's not perfect. There's like an alcoholic smell to this fragrance, a little bit like amaretto. So it does feel like a party. It's delicious. It's succulent. It's supple. It's a little bit dark, a little mysterious. I love that. And when you first spray both this and Lost Cherry, they're almost the exact same. And there's this burst of just a beautiful, dark, rich, deep, dark fruit. It's so good, right? In Lost Cherry, that initial opening smell lasts for about 2 hours. It's perfection. In this, that opening smell lasts for about 30 minutes or so. And then we get to the mid, that is a lot more restrained, a lot more refined, a lot more subtle, but it's definitely very much cherry and tonka together with a little bit of spiciness. It is great. It's not as good as the opening, but it's still very good. Now, while the original Lost Cherry has disappeared, it has gone. It's 3 hours, it has gone. We cannot smell her anymore. This is still going. It's giving us 6 hours. So it gives us a more subdued Lost Cherry for a longer period of time. So we get something. But that opening, those first 2 hours of the original aren't in here. We only get about 30 minutes, and that's unfortunate. Now, if you have the money to waste, you could have both, and you have that 2 hours of bombastic cherry goodness along with an additional 4 hours of a really great mid. If you want to do that, I will settle for this for now because I'm not buying the original. I'm not going to do it. But this one is really great to have, especially if you love that fragrance and you don't want to buy underperformance. Seriously. Do you see how much of this fragrance I've used? It's a lot. It's a lot. And here is my backup bottle because when this one is done, we need another on deck ASAP. This is our Habs Charcoal Musk. And this is sweet vanilla, crisp, airy, it's beautiful. It's like candy, just, you know, in perfume form. With a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of spice, and a little bit of musk. It's mostly sweet, airy candy, vanilla candy. It is delicious. It is amazing. And I love this one to wear to bed. It makes me feel like I'm in a sugary cloud and I don't want to get the fuck up. This is great. Now, there was propaganda and myths about how this fragrance, this $9 fragrance, is overhyped. It should be hyped. It's $9. I could use my allowance as a 10-year-old to buy this shit if I was still a 10-year-old getting an allowance because it is that fucking cheap and it smells so good. You're getting something for basically nothing. We need everyone to know about it so that if you too, like me, love sugary candy, vanilla sweetness, you can have it because it is $9 Canadian and like $6 US. So that is Choco Musk. One of my favorite Gourmands Vanillas of the year, hands down, because I can just buy these weekly and just run through them like I don't got no goddamn sense. It's great, it's great, it's great. The number 3 spot is a beautiful guy here, and that is Lattafa's Body Al Oud Sublime. Now, we're on the curb because there's oud in the name, that there's oud in this. There may be something really dark and rich and mysterious in the back that's a little bit cloud-like. It's like something haunting the fragrance, you know, it's like way in the back, the sort of dark presence in the fragrance, giving a little bit of attitude, a little bit of a little extra zhuzh. But mostly it's like, I don't know, eating juicy apple from Kayali, sort of caramel apple meets something a little bit heavier and darker. It's beautiful. There's a little bit of a rose in here. You smell that. It's a very mature rose, a little bit sharp. It's just, it sort of gets in the way and makes things a little bit more complicated. This is really fun. It feels like a party fragrance. You want to wear this and you want to feel like a bad bitch when you do. That's the vibe of this fragrance. It feels happy, it feels playful, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It is candy sweet with a little bit of darkness and grown woman energy to it. And I really, really love this. I really enjoy this. I want to try more fragrances from this line. There's a white bottle. My order got canceled. I ordered it, y'all. It got canceled. They're like, it's out of stock. I was like, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all, because I deserve more Body Al something in my life. And I love this one. And it is beautiful. It is. It is so sweet and yummy, and I love me a sweet, candy sweet fragrance that smells grown rather than juvenile, and that is this fragrance, grown sweetness. When you see Body Al Oud, you should know what's coming next. Y'all, it's Casablanca. Y'all should have known. It's Swiss Arabian's Casablanca. And this fragrance just layers well with Body Al Oud. I've been recommended it. People have talked about it. They go together so well. And when I describe it, you'll get a sense of why. Because in a lot of ways, it's similar, right? That is candied apple meets something very dark and rich in the base. And same, it's candied caramels with apple and grapes with something deep and dark in the base as well. But for me, this is a little bit better, a little bit more surprising, a little bit sexier. And here's why. You think you're going to get something really straightforward and expected. You think very sweet, crisp caramel, a little bit of amber. We'll keep it pushing. There is some musk. It'll be straightforward. It's going to be lovely. And from the very first spray, you get so much more than that. It's a cocktail of contradictions, y'all. It is warm amber, very crisp, sweet caramel, right? And then you get this very unisex suede right in the back, but it comes through from the very first spray. You can't avoid it. Now I know for some people that's a turn off. You think you're getting candy sweet, just really sweet goodness, really feminine, very sort of lovely and light and airy, and instead you're getting this body in the back that you did not see coming, but it's there and it is fire, and I love it. It's like good girl but man-eater at the same time. It's flirty, seductive, but also kind of rar all at the same time. That's what it's giving. It is fan-fucking-tastic. And the more I've worn this, the longer I've had it, the more I've been impressed with this fragrance, because it is anything but fucking boring. It is a very exciting, sweet caramel fragrance. And as somebody who has their fair share, I have a whole caramel video, y'all. You should watch it. I have a whole caramel video because I love me a caramel fragrance, and this one took me by surprise. I filmed that video the week I got this. I hadn't had time with it to really sit with it, to really understand the nuances and why it was special, but now that I have, have. Would it be in the number one spot of that video? Yes, because is this my favorite caramel currently? Absolutely. It is fantastic. It's not just one of my favorite Gourmands Arabian edition. It's one of my favorite Gourmands, point blank, fucking period. And then when you put it with Badi Al Oud, you're doing caramel and caramel apple and wood and suede together. It's like beautiful sweet magic. And can you do better than that? I know I can't, but can you? Seriously, tell me in the comments if you can, because whatever. In the number 2 spots is one of the best vanillas of the year. Don't argue with me, it's a fact. It's number us. I love Billie Eilish. One, beautiful, crisp, sweet, not quite as sweet, a whole lot more heaviness, thickness, creaminess, body, a little bit of spice. It's like a grown-up version. It's the womanly version. It's the voluptuous, curvy version. It's the Christina Hendricks version. It is so beautiful. It is perfect for winter. It is supple. It is round. The moment I tried this, I screamed. I was like, how fucking dare you? Y'all know how I feel about vanillas, right? It's the best note, obviously. And whenever I can find a vanilla that surprises me because it is so beautiful, so good, I cannot help myself but get excited. And I waited for this one. There is many a short of me just checking websites, just being like, is it back in stock yet? Is it back in stock yet? Is it back? And as soon as it came back into stock, I bought it and I was not disappointed. It lived up to all of my expectations, all the hype, but more. Because I was expecting Billie Eilish, and it's similar, but it's not the same. Is it better? It is better. Absolutely. And so yeah, number 1. Is it number 1? Did I say number 1? It's my number 1 favorite Gourmand Arabian fragrance of 2023. This is going to be a mainstay in my collection going forward. I cannot get enough of this fragrance. I recommend it to everybody, friends and family alike, because it is so beautiful, so lovely, and perfect for those colder months like it is right now. It is the season for Nebraska, and I love that for me. So with all of these gems, what is my favorite Arabian fragrance of all the things that I've bought this year, of all the things that I've tested and tried this year? There is literally nothing that came close for me. One fragrance stood above everything else. It's Camera. I remember trying this fragrance for the first time. I did a short where I unboxed it. And I did my initial first impression video. And it was like this fragrance just stopped me in my tracks. It's spicy, it's sweet, it's vanilla, it's cinnamon. It has a whole bunch of notes that I can't stand. Myrrh, akagala wood. Keep them away from me most of the time, but somehow they're blended in this in a way that is masterful. I hauled the recent flanker of this, Kawa, which I'll do a review on in January when I do that haul video. And I wanted to replicate that feeling this fragrance gave me on first sniff. And it's nice, but it doesn't compare. This fragrance is sweet but not too sweet. It is balanced. It is rich. It smells expensive. It smells like a Christmas drink, but somehow better somehow. I love this one. It's unisex. I'd love to smell this on a man. I'd love to smell it on myself. I'd love to smell it in a room. They can make a candle out of this. They could bathe me in this shit and I would thank them for it, because it is a beautiful fragrance that gives me everything that I need out of something spicy. Now, I don't love spicy fragrances, but if more of them can smell like Camera, then I can get on board with that shit easy. So warm spices, a little bit of sweet vanilla, some sweet gourmand notes, and a little bit of woodiness. Now, people have warned me that this feels a little bit too unisex for them. I've never got that sense for myself, and I do love a sweet feminine fragrance, but this, especially on my body, as it settles down and warms up, it just sort of emits this sweet, soft, pretty, but complex smell that I cannot get enough of, and it is by far, my favorite Arabian fragrance of the year. And I just hope, y'all, that I can find something nearly this good this year, because my expectations are real high now for these Arabian fragrances. Y'all gave me Camera. Y'all need to do even better in 2024. yeah, so that's them. My favorite Arabian fragrances of the entire year with one honorable mention. And there are a lot of fragrances I absolutely enjoyed this year that just couldn't make it onto the list because I had to keep that shit in fucking check, y'all. This is a fun one to make because Arabian fragrances have been a game changer for me. I not only saving money, but I smell better than I ever have. And I have to thank Arabian fragrances for that shit. So I'm going to be doing more hauls, more videos in the new year about Arabian fragrances, and I hope you come back to see all of that. So if you haven't done so already, subscribe, please. I would appreciate that. Like the video if you enjoyed this shit. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't, but why wouldn't you have? You know what? It's because I cuss a lot and people don't like that. Well, fuck you, people who don't like cursing. Anyway, I'll see you next year. Thank you for being here. Again, I'm Jeanique, a lover and a sucker for an Arabian fragrance, and I can never get enough, and I don't want to. Bye, y'all.
But you just can't get enough.